Hi everyone. I'm sifting through my worm farm to pull out the worms where the soil's super wet, and it's pretty much all pretty much all worm casting. So yeah, first time whoopsies with worm farms. But I figured this would be a good time to give you guys a bit of update of why I haven't been on for a while. See, back at the end of August, I had my gallbladder surgery. The surgery itself went alright. Recovery after the surgery, including when waking up, not so well. I had a very traumatic experience where they went to give me something and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe, and I ended up passing out because of it, and they had to give me Narcan and all that fun stuff, which led to severe anxiety and panic attacks every night. I was thinking about going to bed, especially with the CPAP mask. Something about that was kind of triggering, to the point where I couldn't even put it on some of the nights. But anyways, so I was having to deal with that. But several weeks to a month before the surgery, I was diagnosed with what's it called? Essential tremors or something like that. Basically, it's a neurological disorder that is usually genetic, that causes your hands tremor. Sometimes it'll cause your head and voice, affect head and voice as well, and balance. So anyways, I was put on medication for that, which was working really good. Helped a lot with the tremors, and my balance got a lot better. But last week, I think it was, I had it's causing my blood pressure to drop suddenly. To dangerously low. I was 80/69 or something, I think was the lowest. But anyways, so I had to come off from that. And part of, which was fine, but part of it all is that I've been having the tremors seem to be worse, where it's more like a gradual thing than one that sudden thing versus gradual. There we go. Because I've had tremors pretty much most of my life. I've always been good at hiding it and stuff, and it never really bothered me. It's just progressed to a point lately that it has. I can't even hold anything to eat or drink without spilling it, which has been an issue. Anyways, and so my balance has always been off as well. I was one of those kids who could trip over nothing and fall up the stairs and all that fun stuff. So yeah, having to deal with all that getting worse, and especially the balance issues, and Bella has had a few struggles a bit, lecture anxiety and stuff because of all of it. At least I'm assuming it's anxiety. So I've been having to work with her, reassuring her that everything was okay and things like that. Especially where those several days after the surgery, I had the neighbors take her out just to be on the safe side, where the day after the surgery, I had gone to take Bella to get her shots and ended up falling twice that day, which ended up me spending the whole day in the emergency room. So it was a very long day, and I didn't want to repeat that. So yeah, and so Bella has never really had anyone else take her out besides me. So that was just a totally new thing for her, and different people walk her in different ways and things like that. And some people she got away with a lot of stuff, and other people not so much. So yeah. And we've been working with her greeting people because she gets overly overwhelmed per se, and just doesn't listen, and it's quite an issue where she barks and lunges and sometimes growls. And so yeah, trying to break that, and which is hard, where there's nowhere really I can go where I'm currently living to that she doesn't have interactions like that at least once a day, sometimes multiple times a day, depends on what's going on. So that's kind of frustrating because I don't want to reinforce that behavior, but yet there's not much I can do about it. Except for trying to take her out on times where it's least busy out there, which varies, and I sometimes get hyper focused on things, so I don't pay attention to time and whatnot. So yeah, we've been doing all that. Been trying to find somewhere new to move to, and it's been a bit of a challenge. Technically I'm here until April, but still don't want to wait till the last minute, and I got to find out from my landlord if it's month by month or what are we doing right now, because he hasn't really had me re-sign the lease for a couple years now. But yeah, so we're dealing with that. The creepy neighbor that moved in recently is just as creepy and weird. So we try to avoid him as much as possible, especially where Bella would try to bite him. And he's the only person that I've seen her try to bite. Most times she just barks. So we don't want to deal. So we don't want. So I've been trying to avoid that as much as possible, which adds on to a bit of complication because usually before, when I had her outside and I saw somebody coming that I was trying to avoid, I could just take her directly into the neighbor's yard and avoid her seeing them and them seeing me type deal. But the neighbors has a kitten who lives outside, and Bella just gets way overly excited with him, trying to play with him, and we just don't want her to accidentally hurt him, and for him to get scared and go up a tree and can't come down, or even run out of the yard to get away from her. So we've been trying to gradually introduce him. It's going okay. Some days are better than others, as usual. Because some days Bella would just go up and look in the window where the cat usually sits and runs off, and other days where she kind of barks at him when she sees him before running off. So it's never really know if you're trying to be cautious to not let it go up, or I don't know how to put it into words. I'm too many thoughts, too many open tabs. But yeah. So anyways, so where he's been out a lot, especially on the weekends, we can't just go in there. So that would kind of defeat the purpose of trying to keep her calm and not get her overstimulated and such. So there's that, but I'm still around. I'm doing okay. Getting used to life using the cane and or walker, depending on the day and time and whatnot. But yeah. So I guess that's the gist of all that. Oh, I forgot about Skip. Skip has been acting really weird lately. He's been getting all bent out of shape about if anyone parks anywhere close to his van. He takes pictures of them, and calls somebody on the phone and watches them and all this other stuff. His choice, it just makes it hard, because there was a new sign put up that unauthorized parking and blah blah blah. But I've talked to the landlord and asked where can guests, visitors park when they come and such, and Bob said in the backyard, as long as it's not blocking in another tenant, which is fine. It could be challenging at times, but fine. But still, it's just Bob being Bob. It's been almost kind of funny in some ways, sad but funny, that more than once he'd be working outside, and I go to take Bella out, and he quickly stops what he's doing and pack everything up and goes inside and locks the door. And it's like, okay, not sure what that is all about, but okay. It's just, something about all this just I'm trying to stay away from it as far as I can, just so he doesn't claim I'm stalking him or harassing him or whatever other BS he claims. Because really I'm not. Yes, I look in his direction when he's out there just because, I mean, doing stuff in technically a shared yard and whatever. I have just suspicions that he has different places illegally hooked up to spy cameras or security cameras or things like that. Because it's like when I first moved the plants into what I'm now calling the plant room, I had put up a makeshift gate so the pets could be out there with me. And more than once, he seems like almost every time we took Bella Beauty outside, we would be out there and she would get excited because she saw other animals and wanted to play and be a normal puppy. And he would get all frustrated and mad at her and whatnot, and it's one of those, I felt bad, but yet it's not. I knew it wasn't really my fault because I was in my own area with my pets, and it's not like those running wild in the backyard or anything like that. So but yeah. But after a few days of that, of him kept going out when my pets were in the area. Did something to the. He tore out a lot of things on the shared wall that's between my area and his, down to the point where the wall on my side was moving back and forth a bit, and which is one of the things we got into a disagreement with, because he says something about ventilation or something like that, and I had called text Bob about it, and he came by later that day, and he had told me that Skip was just improving one of his walls, and he only had one more piece of plywood to put back up and whatnot, and which was strange because I had nothing to do with ventilation in my mind, but I just kind of let it be, because like I said, I'm trying not to have him get me in trouble or anything. But yeah, after that he was no longer accidentally taking Beauty out when my pets were out there. Every time he took Beauty out, I had either just brought in my pets or things like that, and so somehow he was finding out when my pets were out there and when they weren't. And that's one thing I think of. I've put stuff along that shared wall in a way that it looks like storage and whatnot, but it's blocking the majority of that wall, and it's gone back to him accidentally taking Beauty out when the pets were out there type deal. So, which kind of increases my suspicion, but I don't know how to prove it or anything, and part of me's not sure I really want to go down that route, because like I said, I don't want bad things to go against my name with when I do move and things like that, and yeah, so I've just kind of let it go a lot of times, and been the bigger person for the most part. There's a few times where I've slipped and did some childless stuff against him. It's like there's a small section of grass just out when you go outside my door here, and it was and Skip hadn't mowed it for almost a month, to the point where mice were living in it and all kinds of stuff. So I did it by hand as best I could, and there was like big piles, semi-big piles of grass and stuff afterwards, and I took one of the piles over and threw it beside Skip's shed there, and less than 30 seconds later, he's come flying out the door saying I can't put things there because he's going to trip over it and all this other BS. And he gathers it up and throws it on the side of the lawn. That is my side. But anyways, he told me not to do it again and blah blah blah, and he went inside, and the rebellious part of me get the better of it, and I went and grabbed the second pile, which was technically was already on the lawn on my side, took it over and threw it in the exact same spot that he told me not to put it in. And he came and just walked away at that point, and he came flying out and told me I better cut that blankety blank out, and he dug out the lawnmower and mowed up the different things of grass, so I couldn't gather it up again. He mowed the area that I just wanted to mow in the first place and such. And yeah, then he called the landlord and reported me and all this other BS. And I didn't really get in trouble, but it was just annoying in some ways. And it's always been grating on my nerves a bit that the walkway in the backyard goes pretty much down the middle of the space, and everything to the left of the walkway is Skip claims as his, and nobody can put anything over there or do anything over there and blah blah blah, because that's his side. Well, if there's deliveries of building stuff or whatever that's coming, he has them put it on my side, which is technically shared by 3 of the tenants instead of, because there's 4 apartments here. So yeah, it gets kind of a bit crowded over there, and it's frustrating because you can't really do anything nice. Just for there's so much stuff out there, and on my side, he has this long garden that he does and stuff, and which looks nice, but yet it just cuts into the space that we can put things in. Because his stuff's there, and he had said that I could plant some sweet peas over there, and I handed him the package back when we first talking about, because it was way too early to plant and such, and he said he could do it for me. He was gonna spread them out and blah blah blah, and I had done something to upset him before I really got time to plant, and he took the seeds and pretty much dumped them all in one big pile. And these, which made it very difficult because you couldn't put up any stakes or anything for them to crawl up, and it was just, or really harvest anything. Well, too much with it because it was just way too close together. But dealt with it the best I could as usual, and then of course there's all this about reporting him for animal abuse and all this other stuff came along, and one of the times I was out there tending the peas, those days, thoughts. One of the times I was tending the peas, I saw one of the tomatoes had just gotten ripe, and so I went over and picked it without really giving much thought, because before all this, anybody could go in there and pick things, and he didn't really care, and blah blah blah. But the next day after picking it, I noticed that my peas were all of a sudden not doing well, and they had a strange taste to them, and it's like the next day they was pretty much all dead, and I know that's not, somebody had done something to them, and I can't really prove anything about who did it and whatnot, but so yeah. And then a lot of my other plants just started not to do well and things like that. That's why I brought everything in to the plant room, instead of having them outside like I originally planned and such. So yeah, that's just kind of a annoying thing that I had to do that, but at least I had a space to bring them in. It is what it is, and so yeah. But anyways, so I've just been dealing with Skip and all this other stuff, and plus all the personal stuff about going on with the balance issues and everything else. It's been a lot, and of course it's almost into October, which is a very triggering month for me anyways. So yeah, I'll get through it though. I usually do. It's just rough. I'm not thrilled about there's usually a Halloween parade and things like that, and which I don't watch at all. Some of the other parades, I have a panic attack with parades anyways. When I was little, there was these people who dressed up as Indians, and also prisoners and stuff, and they would go down and grab kids by random and start by the hand and start taking them down the road and such, and then the police officers or whoever would catch us and bring us back and things like that, and they went for me every single time, and my family didn't do anything about it. So so I have a lot of panic from that and such, and I know now that it was just some inappropriate fun that they were having, which at the time they didn't mean anything at all by it. It's back before people really, I don't know how to put it into words. It's kind of back before the helicopter moms and things like that, and part of me almost wonders if the helicopter moms and stuff started because of things like that. But anyways, so yeah, I will try to start posting daily again. I'm not going to promise anything just because weather and bad days and whatnot, but I'll try my best. And I want to get Bella's stuff up as well. I had a lot of good ideas that I was going to do before all this happened. I just haven't been able to do it because of all this happening. I started to within the surgery, and it's just wacky. So anyways, I'll try to get her stuff up and going again, and we'll see where all this goes from there. But yeah, this has been long enough rambling. If you made it all the way through things, I know it's not the most entertaining or whatever video, but it's gonna be how a lot of my videos are gonna end up being, just talking about random things and life in general. But anyways, till next time, bye.